Alright, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to my presentation on how to extract data from an Android phone. Tonight we'll be learning about Android phones and the YAFS file system. Yes, I said YAFS, Y-A-F-F-S, as in yet another flash file system. We'll also be learning about dumb stuff people do on their cell phones and root access to cell phones. So without further ado, let's begin. Alright, and this is just a general outline of what we're going to be going over tonight, so I'll try not to bore you with the details of, the YAFS file system and all the nonsense. I'll just try to hit the main points, and so we can get out of here kind of quick. So, part 1 is the introduction. So, in Q3 of last year, Android made up 81% of devices shipped, which is basically 4 out of 5 smartphones shipped in Q3 of last year were built on Android. Apple came up with about 12.9% of the market share, which kind of gives you an idea of where BlackBerry is. They're in the tubes right now. So what is Android anyway? I'm glad you asked. Android is a product by the geniuses down at Google, and as a random side note, Google's gonna rule the world, so you guys should go ahead and hop on while you can. So I never really answered the question. Android, what's that? Well, Android is a Linux-based operating system. They allow third-party app developers to sell and to develop and sell their apps on their platform, and it's actually kind of genius because Google goes ahead and develops the updates and maintains the operating system and maybe puts out a couple apps here and there, while the app developers do all the rest of the work, and Google just kind of takes their little piece off the top and lets us have our fun. So basically, we're supporting the whole operating system anyway. So, no phone would be complete without these things. Selfies. I know all of you guys have taken at least one selfie. You can lie all you want. I know how it is. Cats. I don't personally have cats on my phone, but I've seen my fair share of cat videos, and they are addicting. And memes, which is the primary purpose of the internet anyway. Like, why would anybody need to do homework when you can just look at memes all day? Alright, but Stefan, I'm a criminal. I don't take selfies. What do I do? Well, criminals, as a general rule, I like to think that criminals are stupid until they're proven smart. So here's a few things I found Googling, dumb criminals. Okay. And so now we're going to go ahead and get into the good stuff. Just to note, this is take 6. So when I first took on this project, I thought, hey, this is Android. How hard could it be? But with my zero Linux experience and my, I guess, bold strategy at it, I ended up bricking my phone twice trying to root it. Trying to root it the hard way. There's an easy way. You can just go get some some shell scripts and run them, and it'll root it for you. But I tried to do it the hard way, and consequently my phone stopped working. Anyway, so we're gonna go ahead and talk about YAFS now. So YAFS. Stefan, what is YAFS 2? Well, YAFS 2 is an open source, meaning the file system isn't proprietary and people can change it as they see fit. The source code is available online for edits, and you can flash pretty much entirely new things into memory as long as they're compatible and the phone is rooted. So actually, I took a few screenshots while I was working on this, and yes, I know you'll see in my notification bar that I missed a call. Thank you in advance. So basically, as you can see on the left, you'll see my files. This is the hierarchical way that you can see it while you're on the phone without going into terminal, which you can see in the middle is the terminal access. I have root privileges, as you can see by up top where it says ls is from the root. And on the right, you'll see my SD card. Yes, I know that says ice skating. Don't judge me. Okay, so here's the easy part. So we're going to go ahead and talk about all the things that make your phone your phone. So your SIM card it doesn't have a whole lot of information on it. It just tells your phone carrier who you are. It doesn't store a whole lot of information. Your SD card is basically just a big flash drive for mobile devices. You plug it in, mine's 32 gigs, and then you might store some app data, some pictures that you overflooded your internal memory. But what you really want is the internal or physical memory of the phone. It's going to have user data, contacts, messages, stuff like that. Okay, this is where things get a little complicated. As I told you, I bricked my phone twice. um, so, rooting your phone is going to give you super user access, which means that nobody stops the super user. Super user is all powerful. So, you want to get super user. You can install third-party whatevers to your phone with a rooted phone. From terminal access, you'll never get the annoying messages that say, "Oh, you don't have permissions." Well, you're the super user. You better have permissions. And so when you're navigating through the terminal access, your directory tree will end in a $sign when you're not in root, when you don't have super user access, but it'll have a £sign or the number key. I don't know who came up with the £sign. Who calls it a pound? Anyway, so this is the easy part. Imaging your SD card. We've done it 1,000 times in class. You just go ahead. You can, as you can see on this demo's SD card, he's got a bunch of stuff saved on it. He opens up FTK Imager, and this guy does it a weird way. He actually goes File and adds evidence item, and then exports the evidence drive to an image, which I don't think that's really all that. This seems kind of backwards to me, but I guess it works. But he's going to go ahead and give it a destination file name, a destination I guess file type, and then he's just going to go ahead and image the drive. So it's pretty basic stuff. We've been doing this for a while, so I'm not going to bore you by making you guys watch it. Okay, now for the easy way. Alright, so what I found out the hard way was that FTK Imager doesn't actually read the YAFS file system. So when I finally got all my images off my phone after like a week of trying to fix my phone and, you know, different types of fixes and flash the ROM and trying to get all kinds of stuff. And then I find out when I went to FTK Imager that it's an unsupported file type. So I was a little upset. But this is basically a big money grab for FTK. You buy their mobile phone examiner software and it reads the YAFS file system. You don't have to root the phone or anything like that because it'll do it with the software. So FTK tries to make life easy but just makes you pay exorbitant prices to get it. Okay, and this is just me being kind of goofy. We all know that there's a dd command in Linux that it's a reliable way to go ahead and make a bit-by-bit copy of a file and have it sent somewhere else. So the syntax for that command is dd, the interface, the path of the file name and path of the file you want to copy, and then the destination, and you probably want to end it with .dd. Okay, and then you're probably asking yourselves, well, what are we going to be DDing? Well, in Android phones, they have something called memory technology devices, the MTD files, and they've got all the interesting stuff you probably want to DD from your Android phone. They've got, as you can see from the list before, 0 through 5, and you want to probably image all of them, but I only went with 3 through 5 because it's where all the interesting stuff is going to be. There's not going to be a whole lot of stuff stored in the boot partition or the recovery image. Maybe something in miscellaneous tasks, but I really doubt it. And well, that's about it, guys. If you guys have Mobile Phone Examiner, which I doubt you do, but just in case, you want to mount the image to the Mobile Phone Examiner software and then go to town. There's a tutorial behind my references if you have time to check it out. It's about 8 minutes long, so you know you probably don't. You guys have busy lives, whatever. And so just to recap, we went over YAFS 2 and how FTK Imager can't read it. We went over the DD command and its usage. We went over how I bricked my phone, which is still kind of acting funny. We went over the key files that you want to look for on your Android device. And if you're doing it the hard way, the files that you want to make DD images of. And we went over root and super user access. So I hope this has been informative, and I want to thank you guys for watching.